This is the Visitor, and the Visitor is Finn's dad. Just as big a deadbeat as usual.
Oh, wait a minute, wait. There we go, that's right.
There you go, yeah. Jason, you lost your arm!
Totally did.
Right in front of me, too!
It's the truth, I swear.
Yeah, so the comet is apparently not a comet. It's the ship that has, what do you call it? Just comet people? Is that what they were called?
That's what Finn called them. That's
okay.
Not. They're not. Actually
I know it's not their official whatever. He just called them that because it's like, oh, I thought that was a comet.
Yeah.
But it also happens with whatchamacallit, Finn having this dream that where like baby him is leading him to this comet that looks like a sperm, and I guess he was just doing that. He was sleepwalking, right?
Sleepwalking for 2 days.
Because I was thinking like that was still part of the dream, but then it started hitting me. I'm like, oh no, I guess he actually just walked that, in his sleep. Again, Adventure Time, you can do that. And it comes across these little creatures that kind of look like snowmen.
They remind me of those squeeze toys.
The ones where like their ears and nose kind of okay, I know what you're talking about. Or what's that little white thing that was in one of the Final Fantasy games? He had like the little red nose. I think that's what it was called.
The mugs.
I never played the games, but
I
always remember those from the commercials. That's the only thing I can remember from Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy games are fun.
That's always I can't do RPGs. It's just like, would you like to hit him now? I'm like, just hit him! I'm way too impatient for it.
You should probably play the newer ones then. That's how the newer ones more are.
Are they? Can you actually jump around and do shit?
Like 13 is more that way. Don't play 13.3. Lightning Returns is terrible.
I just know those are like the biggest hit or miss games ever. Because listening to people talk about is like listening to Gollum, just like, I love Final Fantasy. They're terrible. But yeah, you got these little snowmen creatures. And Finn's dad is apparently just kind of in charge of him. He makes up the story about the tree spirit, which even they kind of don't believe. They're just kind of really nice.
Yeah.
And are just looking for kind of just something nice to do and just to quote-unquote help out and stuff. And so they kind of get abused by this guy, but they seem kind of happy, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's kind of like maybe they just don't know anything else. Maybe. I don't know, because we don't know their past. And it looks like Finn's dad is once again going to take off, literally. And, he's going to leave everybody behind. And he gets a little bit of his backstory. He's on a banana boat. All these creatures try to kill him, and that's it. We don't really get much else. We don't even really see if that's the dad fighting it off, or we know that could be the mother.
Or it's just not even true.
Yeah, or it's just made up.
Just remember, they're on a banana boat with a tiger.
It's just, again, it's Adventure Time. I believe anything. But it's also his dad, so who knows? I mean, why would he even go the effort to make up a lie about that? But then again, maybe the truth is just so interesting. It's like, no, I can't tell him.
Or he's just an ass.
Yeah, could be. Always that possibility. So he's gonna leave these little snowmen to blow up and die. Finn goes in, saves them, and then just starts carrying them all to the to his place and says, "When we get to the treehouse, I'll do the talking." And just kind of leaves there. And even he's kind of like picking up the questions that weren't answered at the end. It's like, I wonder why my dream cell was a comet. Dreams are weird. So maybe there's still a comet, could still be coming, and maybe that was just a, that would make more sense because the Lich it seems to be tied to the comet. Even, you said it kind of looked like him in that, when we first saw it, and then even in the dream, it kind of looks like he's on the comet almost, or something. It's like all fiery and flamey and stuff. It kind of looked like it was in space, so, I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just seeing what wasn't there, but, so that would make more sense. That does explain why it's whatever, the time frame is wrong and why it was off course and stuff like that. It was going to hit Mars. But yeah, still all these questions of what are those little snowmen? Where did Finn's dad go? How did he come across them? How did he pilot this thing that suddenly looks like a comet? So yeah, kind of all these questions.
No, I think they were there when he landed. That was their village and everything normally. And that's why he's saying, I'm the tree
that's why he's saying the tree spirit. And they okay, well, he must have gotten them to believe that pretty fast.
Well, remember, they're like, well, do you believe it? Well, not really. We just like to help.
But what... He called them comet people, though.
Because he thought they came...
But they did not... So they don't have any connection to that thing at all. Okay.
Nothing to Martin, none of that stuff.
It felt like he had a connection with them for a while, though. He's like, yeah, look, see, they love it. I scratch them, they like it, they hug it. I mean, it seemed like he had... But he was walking for 2 days, too. So maybe just within those 2 days, he got that connection.
Yeah.
I guess so. All right. Yeah, you're right. That would make sense why they were... I was going to say, like, man, they set up there pretty fast. So they were probably there for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that thing came down and destroyed everything. Yeah, even, like, that ship, it was kind of in the shape of, like, a face and kind of these weird eyes and, like, these little ears. Almost like... kind of looked like that Batman helmet from Batman vs. Superman, like the metal one, kind of. You're missing nothing, trust me. But, yeah, it's a... it's... You know, it's funny, because right after the last vlog, we got talking just, like, really fast about religion a little bit. And this episode, I feel very much kind of has, like, a religious tie to it, so it's kind of hard not to address that. I mean, I don't know, just kind of the... Even if they do or don't believe it, they kind of just want to do what they feel. It's helping out and is right and good. I don't know, this guy kind of just came down, I guess we can do that.
Do you need... religion or a godlike figure in order to do good things? Or can you just do good things because it's maybe the right thing to do?
But there's also I like how they're not rude. They're like, yeah, just let him believe it. It's fine. It's fine. You know, even though it's like, you know, could it be true? Probably not, but you never know. I don't know. Like, they're just so nice.
Yeah.
And they're just so humble. They're just like, you know, it's fine. And they'll just help out until, you know, they blow up, pretty much. No, I thought it was interesting. I guess I was hoping for a little bit more with the return of Finn's dad, because I feel like we kind of did the deadbeat dad story already. It was done very well.
Yeah.
You know, now that he comes back, they just kind of do it again. I was kind of hoping, like, I don't know, something else would come of that, because I remember when I saw him again, I'm like, oh, well... I wonder where they're going to go from here, because it's like, you kind of feel like you did that story arc and he's kind of let go, and then he comes back. It's like, oh, where's this going to lead? I legitimately don't know where you can go with this in a story. And, yeah, they just kind of repeat the whole thing again. So, I don't know. Like, it was alright. I'm curious where these things are going to fit in, if they're going to be like this big continuing... you know, like, part of the story. They're just, every once in a while, they're just gonna see a little snowman running around or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I thought it was alright. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I liked that Finn was finally able to, in a sense, confront his father and be like, hey, what was going on? I have all these questions I want answered. And even as he answers them, you don't know if they're true or not.
Yeah.
And you see... again, kind of going to the, you know, nature versus nurture type thing with how scummy his dad is and how manipulative and how much he doesn't care for anyone else but himself.
Well, and how kind of, like, smart but not smart he is, too. Like, he's smart enough to know how to manipulate, but not smart enough to do it in a way where it's like he's always gonna be in a good place. He's always on the run, or he's always in trouble, or something like that. And that is always something I see with a lot of people that need to lie a lot, is that there's kind of no end game. There's no finish line, so they'll just sort of keep going. You know, because people like, everybody lies, you know, but, you know, they do it in little chunks or sometimes bigger chunks to get to a point where it's like, you don't have to lie.
Yeah.
You know, so that you can be relaxed and calm, whatever, you get what you want. But there are people that are just addicted to it. And addicted to making shit up just over and over and over. And it is just always so self-destructive. You know, because it gets to a point where you know, can they even figure out what the truth is? You know, do they even know? Yeah, I feel very much that's what he is. He is kind of this compulsive liar. And, you know, people always say there's like an insult. You're a compulsive liar, but it's like, it's a legit thing,
Oh, yeah.
and it's very destructive. You know, because I mean, it can get you friends very fast, but it can lose them. Not just it can lose them both slowly and quickly, but usually forever. Like, it just loses a friend forever because they catch on that it's like you just never stop.
Yeah.
You know, because people don't want to constantly lie. You know, they want to live in a point where, you know, they can, you know, relax in the truth. They want to know what the truth is. And when
Yeah.
you lie so much, you're not going to necessarily have a good handle on the truth. You know, it's practically impossible. So, yeah, I do like how Finn makes the choice to send him off, even though he's kind of saying, hey, you want to come with? You can. And finally, when he's just saying another horrible, terrible thing, he just pushes the button and sends him off. So,
And then
yeah,
if
it
you
does seem
notice,
like that
his
closure.
face instantly goes to happy.
Yeah, like, whew, that was good. Like, I
Yeah.
needed to do that.
And Finn being brought up by, you know, Jake's parents, or his, you know, Finn's parents, in a sense, it's that whole thing of, like, look at how good Finn turned out. You know, he didn't go down this dark path of manipulation and not caring for anyone else. Finn is just a good person overall. He has hatred towards his father. He has questions. He has abandonment issues. That's why when he goes to his dream, there he is with the baby version of himself. And he's like, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And he's like, please don't let go. And he's like, no, I won't. I never have.
Or I never
Yeah.
will. And
I
then
never
does he have a little, like, you know, that's actually true.
Yeah.
Like,
It's-
I didn't know that. Like, you know, even he's kind of shocked at that.
You know, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you know, he always wants his father. He's always thought about his father, but at the same time, it's, you know, that whole thing of like, yeah, you know, you have the abandonment issues, but you learn to cope, you learn to deal. You know, being adopted myself, you know, I've been asked numerous times, when are you going to find your birth parents? When are you going to find your parents? Blah, 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 and all that stuff. And
That's how they ask you this. So when are you going to do it? Not if you're
Yeah.
going to do it, they're just when?
oh yeah,
Really?
oh yeah, without question. And
That seems kind of rude.
for me, it was that whole thing of it's like, but they're my birth parents. Who cares? You know, my parents are the ones who raised me and took care of me. Love them or hate them, you know, it doesn't matter. That's who my parents are, and my birth parents are my birth parents. You know, and it did end up. I did end up meeting my birth mom and all that stuff, but it was by her actually looking for me. So for me, I can look at Finn and the whole abandonment thing and be like, yeah, I can kind of look at it. You know, when you find out, yeah, you're adopted, it's like, huh. Why was I given up? Why couldn't they take care of me? And, you know, all that stuff. But you can look at it two ways. Those jackasses got rid of me, or, I'm happy in my family. You know, and so I think Finn is more the whole, I'm happy in my family. I'm wondering why, but I'm not going to hold it against the person, you know. So for me, I like seeing Finn be like, oh, I'm okay now. You know,
Two things came in my head after it was done. One is I'm probably reading too deep into it, but the fact that that thing did look like a sperm, I was kind of I was immediately thinking like, man, what does that mean? That's like just going in my head. Why make that look like a sperm? And the only thing that was kind of coming in my head after it was all done is like maybe it is kind of like him kind of being reborn again in letting go of his father. In a sense, you know, kind of like now he can really be rid of that. He can kind of start over, but that might really be reaching.
well, that happened at the beginning.
Yeah, it happened at the
Cinematic.
beginning, but maybe like what's gonna be kind of, well, even him holding the young self. I mean, both of that seem like preludes to, you know, kind of a father-son relationship, you know, or at least a connection to where you came from, you know, kind of thing. You know, you have the sperm and then you have the baby version of him.
I don't think it was intentionally supposed to be a sperm.
You don't think so?
If you look at any time a comet's drawn, that's how it's drawn. So if you make it move any other
But
way...
he had like the little tail and
But
stuff.
a
I
comet
mean, it
has
was,
a tail. I'm just saying, if you take a comet and try to draw it any other way, it won't look like a comet. And if you try
I
to
don't
make
know.
it move, it's
Most of
gonna
the time,
look
it's like it's a big ball, maybe just like a little bit of a tail. This was like a long
What?
tail.
What comets have you looked at?
I'm talking about in cartoons. In cartoons, they look like that because they can't draw it the other way because they'll look like a sperm. So maybe I just answered my own question.
See?
But okay, but the other thing is that you know I was watching the second season of
God.
what? Gotta bring that arm out.
I'm starting to sweat. Sorry, go on.
I was watching the second season of Kimmy Schmidt, which is a great show. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. But something that they come across... No, I did say you have to like it. But something that they do in the second season, without giving too much away, she goes and finds her mother, her birth mother. And it's similar to Finn's dad, again, without giving away too much, but it's not the exact same thing. But it's a similar kind of ending. Again,
hold on one sec. That was one thing I was always laughing about when someone would ask me, when are you going to go find your birth parents? I'm like, nah, knowing my luck, they're going to be someone in a trailer park. I'm going to be like, hi, I'm your son. You got $5 I can borrow? Sorry. But
it's kind of a similar resolution that Finn has in there, and it's just real saying, like that's two of those I've seen now, and I know I've seen even more stories about characters off to find their parents, or parent usually I should say, and the parent usually not being what they want them to be, and then coming to grips and saying like it's okay and letting go of that, and and being fine with that. And it seems like that's kind of like where there used to be a lot of different, analysis of families, like in, 80s, and, well, I mean, always there's been analysis of families, and like in the 50s and 40s we had, like, Leave It to Beaver and stuff like that, and then we had, like, All in the Family and Roseanne and stuff, and it's sort of like, oh, so this is, like, what the family is right now when you see sort of these repeated patterns.
Yeah.
And it is interesting. I'm seeing the story of finding the original parent and them not living up to what they expected, but coming to grips with it and being all right. Sort of like the new thing, and I think that's just an interesting thing that's like, wow, it's because I've seen this a couple times now, and it seems like it's not a bad lesson to teach, because I think if you do find your original parent or parents and they turn out fine, it's like, great, no, I'm sure there's stuff to talk about and confront, but, if you get along great, then great, there's no real problem, but if you don't, that's going to be a tricky thing. That's a very hard thing. So it's one of those things where I think that, and even if you're not a kid that's gone through that, it's good to show stories where this is happening, to show that, hey, there are other kids and people, adults, that go through this, and that there is kind of this, there's a lot going on, there's a lot to process, and there's a lot to work through, and it's good to understand that. It's good to have empathy for it. Yeah. So it's one of those things I feel like I'm seeing more and more in, at least in TV shows. And it's interesting. It's just interesting how much more that's coming to the forefront now. Where it's like, it used to be, even with, as we said before, Disney, the orphan, there's tons of orphans in Disney, but what are they? The parents dead, they're gone. And it's like, and why? Because that was the broken family, and we have to come back from the broken family and move on and stuff like that. But, I don't think that ever happened too much when those were made. It's like most parents were not dead. Though I guess we did have 2 world wars, so maybe that's part of it too. But as the evil stepmother or stepfather, whatever, it was more like, hey, finding that traditional family value and moving on and stuff. And now it's sort of like, hey, it's not the traditional family that you've heard about in happily ever afters and stuff, but here's how you move on with that, and here's how you still have a happy family and you're content with yourself. And because I think we're just opening up more and more to how many different kinds of families there are, and relationships.
You don't have to have the mother, the father, and the 2 kids. It could be a father and a kid. It could be a single mother and 2 kids. It can be
someone that's not even related to you.
Yeah, it could be any way possible. Where before it was not necessarily pounded in your head, but it was that kind of whole thing where it's like, you're supposed to have a mother and a father, and you're supposed to have a brother or a sister. That's the norm.
The nuclear family seems to be, I mean, I don't think it'll ever be like gone, but it's certainly something that it's like there's just so much more variety of different kinds of family, which I think is just, it's nice because it leads to more variety of people, and it leads to more variety of understanding and opening up more options and different mindsets. And I think that's really cool, and I like it that, sort of these shows and movies and stuff are addressing that, especially ones aimed for kids.
Yeah. See, for me with the whole adoption thing, it's... So, 15 years go by of your life. You're living with this family, and you learn to love them and you learn to hate them. There's things you love about your parents and there's things you hate about them, you know? And it's always that whole thing of, when I run away, it's going to be so much better. And I think a lot of people who are adopted, it's that whole fantasy of, I'm going to meet my birth parents and they're going to be rich, or they're going to be famous, or they're going to love me more, or, you know, they're not going to gripe about my homework. You know, it's that whole fantasy of, they're just going to be better than what I have now. Mm. And I think a lot of times when they finally meet that other person, they don't live up to that expectation. I'm not saying that they're scummy people. It's just, oh no, they're just normal folks. And I think more than seeing like how Finn is, and it sounds like in Kimmy Schmidt, not a really great mother, I think I would love to actually see more just average people being met. Not scummy people, not awesome, just like average people. Like when I met my birth mom, she's an average person. Mm. She's a completely average person, and she's got other kids, and she's now married and all that stuff, and it's just like, oh, okay, she moved on with her life, and it's fine. There's no problems, and I kind of want to see that more. That it's like, I keep in touch with her every once in a while, and we hang out every once in a while, but it's not this close connection or no connection. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a lot of what's going on now, is it's either your best buds or your mortal enemies.
Yeah, I think with this being opened up more on, you know, these shows and TV and stuff, I think that will be analyzed more. I think because only now are we starting to get these stories more frequently. Yeah. And I think on top of that, it's just more dramatic if you make them, you know, one or the other. It's either the parent you've always been looking for, oh, the bad dream is over, or it's not what you're looking for, but you know what, we'll move on. That's just, that's great drama.
It's better writing. It's better writing. Yeah.
But no, I'm kind of with you, because I was kind of thinking that too. I'm like, I'm seeing a lot of these stories about, you know, parents not being what they thought they would be. I'm like, yeah, what would it be if it was just a normal person? Because I've heard a lot of stories of people that go and find their you know, their birth mothers and birth fathers, and a lot of times it's like, yeah, it's not what they expect, but it's like they're normal, you know, they're just nice people, whatever. Yeah. And you know, where the relationship goes from there, you know, varies and stuff. And I've also heard ones where they're bad, you know, they're not very good. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, that would kind of be nice, just sort of like, what connection, you know, would you have from that, or just what relationship would you build from that? I think would be very interesting. So yeah, no, you know what? Just before we leave, because I don't know if we ever told this story, when you did meet your birth mom.
Oh yeah.
Well, was it the who was it? Somebody saw Suburban Nights and saw Jory and Bree in there, and then when they met, they're just like, you know, meeting family for the first time, and they're just like, wait a minute, aren't you from Suburban Nights? Well, how did that work again?
Okay, so I met my birth mom and all that stuff, and it was on my son's 18th birthday, which was 9/11. Not the 9/11, but his birthday is 9/11. So I'll never forget that day. It was a letter in the mail and everything, and we finally met with her, and then I found out I had 3 brothers. I was like, what? So I met my brother, Steve. And was that your phone?
It was. You know what? Only now did you notice on the last ring. But continue the story.
My brother, Steve, great guy. I love him and everything. We're talking and everything, and I'm trying to remember how it came up. Somehow it came up that, like, we did videos with you, and it's pretty neat, and it's fun and all that stuff. And Steve's like, uh-huh. And my mom's like, wait a minute, you know this? He's like, yeah, I watch him all the time. She's like, what? Why didn't you ever tell me? You never asked. But, like, yeah, my brother, in a sense, has known me for a while because of helping you out, but didn't know it was me.
Yeah. Like, actually saw you a lot, but never knew it was you.
Yeah, which is, I think that's just really, really freaking cool. Like,
no, I think that's a pretty funny story.
Well, another one is my friend Todd. I'd work horror conventions with him. And apparently one of those conventions, my mom was actually at.
Oh, really?
So again, at some point in time, I could have actually bumped into her.
And not even
Or she could have come up to our table, and I never would have known. Yeah, small world. It's kind of creepy.
Stuff like that is so cool. I love those kind of stories. So, yeah, that's about it. And, one there.
I did love, really quickly, one when Finn is walking, and it's the whole, Do I wake up now? Yeah. You wake up now. Now? No. And then it just like cut to him all dry face.
Yeah.
And the vulture comes up. Oh, yeah. You've been walking for like 2 days. Really? Oh, what's that over there? No, wait, don't. Oh, darn it.
Yeah, like that was gonna be his meal.
But again, when Finn gets to the water, he needs that water to live pretty much to an extent. And instead of just taking it, he stops and he asks.
Yeah.
Instead of like just going, oh, I need this to survive, it's like, is it okay? Can I tell? Which is completely opposite of his father, who's taking that water and just kind
making demands and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And he also, as soon as he has it, like all the wrinkly lines just go away. He's suddenly like back to normal. So no,
I just love the vulture buzzer, just like, I did not. Darn it.
Yeah, even though he wasn't like super, it's like jeez. So yeah, good stuff, and we will see you on the next one, which will be right after this, but not for you. It will be the next day. But we get to watch it right now.
What's wrong with you? I got my... And your phone.
My phone's ringing, god damn it! What?